Hello everyone and welcome back to another Quick Thoughts with Movies with Michael. The most recent outing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has just come into theaters with new characters and a new story, but was it good? Was it bad? Or was it right there in between? I'm going to give you my answer to that question in this video. For those of you who have not seen the new film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, I will be spoiling some events from the film, so consider this your spoiler warning. If I'm going to be honest, the only thing I was expecting for this film to give me was a good portrayal of the real Mandarin, and mostly that is what I got. Our main villain is played by Tony Leung, if I pronounce that the right way, and most of his scenes are very, very good. That being said, I think that the whole plot line, the whole story that he would go from a 1,000-year-old power-hungry warlord to being a family man that just wants to grow old and be happy was rushed and was quite dumb because that was a bit too unrealistic for me, alright? And I think if I would have been writing, the motives for the Mandarin to do that would have been more out of continuing his legacy of conquering and power through his children and not out of selflessness and a sudden change of heart. That just seemed a bit too rushed for me. But let's talk about our main characters. Shang-Chi, Katie, Shang's sister, I can't remember her name exactly, and the other characters that showed up in the film. They were all very enjoyable. None of them were annoying, and all the humor in the film, I think, worked a lot better than it should have. And even Ben Kingsley, who's back playing Trevor Slattery, had some really enjoyable scenes, and they all just worked so nicely, and none of them felt forced or shoved in your face. The action sequences were all very entertaining. However, there are some issues that I'd like to go over. First of all, Shang had way too much plot armor, in that he would go through these often very long action sequences and not be cut, bruised, panting, sweating, or injured at all after them. And that really takes away from all of the tension that the audience would have felt in those scenes if we would have been shown that, yeah, he's a person too. Yes, I know it's a comic book movie. Yes, I know he's the Mandarin's son. But again, he's still a human, alright? It just, when you do that, it cheapens the whole movie, I think. The CGI that they used in this movie, especially for the creatures, and although I really did enjoy all the Chinese mythological creatures that we were able to see show up in this film, I think should have been polished up more because it ended up looking a bit too silly. My dad described some of the final scenes as what would be in a live-action Kung Fu Panda project. The mythological and mysterious elements of, well, that the film brought to the table were all done quite well, I think, and I think the film just had the right amount of Chinese dialogue as opposed to English dialogue, and the whole thing about the Dweller in Darkness, that being the supernatural antagonist that emerges at the end of the film, the whole thing about him, or it, calling out and sounding like it needs help, sounding like it wants to do good, sounding like it wants to give you what you want, and then it's only too late that you realize he's only there to destroy you and everything else, I think is more important than a lot of us even realize. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is an MCU entry that is enjoyable and entertaining enough to keep itself just above average. So that is why I will give this film a 6.5 out of 10. With that, y'all, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like, share it with your friends, comment down below what you thought about this movie, and subscribe for more content about movies, and I will see you all next time.